Shalom Yasharallah. This your brother Dawada coming back at you with this here truth again. First and foremost, I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahweh Shai, Bahashim, Rakak Kwadash. Double honor to the apostles and the elders of great millstone that taught us this truth and that rule well. And salutation and much love for you, Aki, and pushing this truth and sincerity over the four corners of the earth and enduring afflictions to feed and edify the elect. So I want to jump to this here article real quick, which says European NATO members should reduce reliance on the U.S., Macron says. All right. And yeah, if you've been following all of this, this is one of the major, how do you say, EU leaders that's pretty much been openly opposing what the West is doing when it comes to this Ukraine situation. All right. They're saying, hey, yeah, we falling in line. We're going to do what we got to do. But we need to, let Russia speak. We need to hear the other side. We got to hear all these other, demands from the president. I believe it was even Macron when who's your boy Biden had called Putin. He called him something like a deranged killer or something like that. All right, Macron even checked him. And he's like, yo, you can't talk to can't speak about world leaders like that, man. All right, we got to be diplomatic. We can't, just this is an endless war that we got going on over here. It's got to have make some kind of sense, like we not gonna just let Russia disappear. And all these things that we're doing is actually only hurting us. So like even in this here article, hey, they're thinking about we have to think about us first. All right, and now for any of you simple-minded ass Americans over here, which this ain't for you anyway. But if you feel some type of way about how this guy's speaking, and he should fall in line with NATO and just stick to the script and everything. Well, what about your boy Donald Trump, who ran and won on putting America first? All right, how many of you people feel like America, when it deals with the international bodies out there, should be thinking about America first? All right, and this is what these nations are saying, because you got to understand, it's bankrupt in there. What the hell you got going on in your country right now? Your country bankrupt from its military industrial complex and all that spending that you're doing on these other nations. So hey. It says the country should bolster their own defense to become less dependent on both the bloc and Washington, the French president says. All right. And which is, hey, you see prophecy speaking loud and clear right here. All right. While promising you peace, plotting on destroying you. All right. Your own allies. Right. It says French President Emmanuel Macron has said European NATO members should become more autonomous and less dependent on the U.S.-led alliance regarding their own security. He made the remark late Wednesday as he spoke to reporters in Paris after returning from the summit in Amman, Jordan, in which this is actually, a smart thing to do, because all these nations, they actually all have their own militaries, right? It's not like, there's these European nations that don't have a military and they just get the perks of, dealing with, NATO, right? And then plus with the EU themselves, right? By themselves, shit, they could come up with their own military bloc, because, the European Union, they could all, do the same thing as NATO, just without, America, Canada, and what is it, Turkey. All right. But nevertheless, they could just do their own thing. But, that's contrary to what America has going on. But we know how prophecy, how this ends in prophecy, right? It says an alliance isn't something that I should depend on. It's something that I should choose, something that I work with, Macron stated. We must rethink our strategic autonomy. So, hey, this is what he's saying. This is something I shouldn't have to depend on. It's something I should choose. They're starting to wake up. They drinking that Babylonian juice, but now they're starting to sober up and realize, bro, we over here supporting you. You're not supporting us at all. All right. Look at all the different deals that just pretty much cut the EU up out of the picture, or ended up bad for the EU, like putting all these sanctions on Russia and everything. Well, it's like, well, if you put the natural gas sanctions on Russia, where are we going to get our shit from? Oh, y'all just so happen to be right there to sell us this natural gas? Well, how much is it going to cost? 4 times the price it's costing over there in Russia? Bro, we don't even got no smoke with Russia, bro. Y'all got smoke with Russia, man. All right. And then if there's a war that breaks out, where is it going to be fought at? It's going to be fought on pretty much on our grounds, not on y'all grounds. All right. But hey, we know, according to prophecy that, America going to get hit with all the missiles, be turned into the lake of fire. But just in a more or less not a traditional, but like in a carnal sense, you see World War I and World War II, how that took place. America, was a part of it, but they like America, the how you say, the mainland wasn't a so-called you had Pearl Harbor, but it wasn't like so-called involved in it, more or less to say. All right, that's one of America's the U.S.'s military defenses, is the fact that damn near all their enemies, and you could say Cuba, but all their enemies is on the other side of the globe. They would have to come on this side of the globe, and even you have nations like China and Russia, right? Who people think is that their military. I mean, they do have pretty big militaries and things like that. Russia has their scenario where they got their nukes that they could shoot the intercontinental ballistic missiles all the way over here, right? But see, you have problems like trying to fly your bombers and stuff over here. It's like, well, you can fly them over here, but they're slow. You can see them out, and you can't really restock and resupply that quickly. But when it comes to like Russia and China, right? One of the major things in war, not going too far off topic, but one of the major things of war is what? Logistics. It don't matter if you got a billion tanks and everything. If you can't get them tanks over to your enemy, the hell are you gonna really do about all that? Like for instance, Russia and China, they both, I believe, only have one aircraft carrier. All right, and so in order for them to bring an aerial assault on America with using fighter jets and everything, let's say they want to have an air-to-air combat with America over American soil. Like, bro, they got one because they're not gonna fly them damn jets all the way over. They'd be to run out of gas. All right, you have to balance it out. It's like, look, you want a further trip. All right, you got to use less, bring less weapons, less ammo because more weight, is going to run up more gas. Or you want to have a big payload, well, then you got to have less gas, right? So it says, going back into this, it says Macron identified technology and defense capabilities as areas in which European nations should seek to reduce their dependence on the alliance and the U.S. in particular. All right, so this is not really just the alliance that they're trying to get rid of. Because you think this is why we say NATO and the EU. You only got a couple, 3-4 nations that's not a part of the EU that make up NATO, right? So it's like, and it really is not NATO, more or less to say. It's just America. Because like I said, you think about Article 5. If one NATO member is attacked, all of NATO is going to come out to defend it, right? The only time that was enacted was 9/11, right? You had all these European nations go over there and fight, for America, all right, in that sense. But now what happens when you see like Turkey fighting it out with the Kurds and everything? You don't see all of NATO going over there to go help Turkey out and things like that, man. All right, so you have a back and forth with these here nations, that it doesn't really benefit them. All right, it says he added, however, that the member states should not endeavor to break away from the bloc or develop an alternative to it. There is no European security architecture without strategic autonomy inside NATO and with NATO, but not dependent on NATO, he said. It says, and again, that's the whore rideth upon the beast. All right. It's just like a car. A car is dependent, in a traditional sense. The car is dependent on the operator to operate it to its full potential. All right. So, hey, it's like, or a gun and a shooter, right? You're like, well, a gun is just a gun until you put a person behind the damn trigger, and aim it at somebody and pull the trigger, man. All right. But this is what they're saying about, like, hey, well, we can operate, but we just don't want you to be the handler of all these things because the way you handling this, let's just say the gun, all right, is you handling it reckless, or a car, you out here drunk as a skunk. And nah, we don't want you to drive. We want a human to drive, but we don't want you to drive because you super intoxicated right now, right? It says there's no European security. We just read that. It says Macron also touched upon the ongoing hostilities between Russia and Ukraine, in which the latter has received wide-ranging Western support, while reiterating his support for the absolute defense of Ukraine. He said once again that Moscow's security concerns should also be addressed because, hey, they looking at it from this point of view. Hey, man, that beef you got going on over there is fucking it up for me, right? It's just like you at a job, you and your homie at a job or whatever, and then your homie keep coming to work late or something like that, and then the boss is about to send him home and about to get him all, hey, we're gonna have to send you home today, man. You came to work a little drunk, you was all late, we're gonna have to just send you home, we're gonna have to suspend you for a couple days and everything else like that, right? But then you have you and your boy, y'all carpool to work every day, together, something like that. Now, this dude drunk, cussing out the boss, well, fuck y'all then, man. I don't need this job, no way, this is that. I seen y'all was looking at me all types of ways and so on and so forth. Then he look at you, how you feel about it, Jim? Tell him, nigga. Tell him that this, nah, bro, don't get me fucked up. You the one was late to work. You the one was over here drinking on the job. You the one was doing it. This ain't got shit to do with me. Because if I go over here, you bring me into the conversation, you about to get me fired, and I showed up on time, bro. I ain't drunk out here, man. You the one that came to work all like this. You put yourself in this position. So, hey, but whatever you got going on, that's between you and them, not between me, you, and them. All right? Don't bring us into the scenario, right? It says, when I speak of guarantees, I'm talking about all of these countries for us, but also for Russia, Macron stated. Again, he's the only one, rationalizing and speaking up for them, which is funny is that, you would think that he would be being condemned about these things, but it's like, look, this is the sentiment that these European nations actually have. They just not really, like the scripture lords will get to it. They're not openly saying these things out in the open right now. All right, Macron is, but hey, it says that means this means that one of the essential points we must address, as President Putin has always said, is the fear that NATO comes right up to his back, right up to his doors, and deployment of weapons that could threaten Russia. All right. And that's been a clear red line for Putin the whole time, and Russia as a whole. Right. But don't nobody seem to be able to get this. They just point him out as the boogeyman. But see, you got one Western ally, all right, that's using, he's sober right now, using common sense. Like, well, no, I see why this nigga's mad. I see why he over here defending his country. I see why there's a conflict, because see, we over here adding fuel to the flame over here. Yeah, I understand what we got going on over here, man. You know, again, you riding in the car, you know, with you and your boys and shit, and y'all doing 200 mile an hour down the interstate, and you get pulled over. And then here he go, man. The police always want to fuck with a black man and this and that. Like, you might be right about that, but look, you doing 200 in the Scat Pack or the Hellcat down the interstate, bro. Like, you thought they wasn't gonna pull you over or something like that, man. You know what I'm saying? It ain't got nothing to do with that. This is what the problem is, right? It says, in recent weeks, French President has repeatedly said that the conflict must eventually end with negotiations, which should yield security guarantees for everyone, including Russia. And it's just as simple as that, man. Hey, don't be putting y'all military up on our doorsteps, and these nations on our borders cannot join NATO. All right, y'all, this was the initial agreement at the fall of the USSR that NATO wouldn't expand further to the east. This stance triggered a barrage of criticism from Ukraine and some EU nations, with Poland, Slovakia, and the Baltic states openly opposing Macron's suggestion. See, you know, they in line. Russia has signaled on several occasions that it is ready to talk with Ukraine and the West as a whole, while insisting that its own interests must be taken into account if negotiations are to occur. Moscow has blamed the lack of diplomatic effort to end the conflict on Kiev. On Wednesday, the head of the Russian Federation Council, Valentina I ain't even gonna pronounce it, said that there is no background for negotiations to take place in the near future. There's nothing to discuss with no one. Senior officials in Kiev have repeatedly issued belligerent statements, with Ukrainian President Vladimir Zelensky pledging to recapture the former Ukrainian regions of Donetsk, Luhansk, Kherson, and I can't even pronounce it, which joined Russia in early October, as well as Crimea, which broke away from Kiev in 2014. Zelensky has even banned himself from negotiating with Russian President Vladimir Putin. And what do you think? How do you think this is going to end? If he say, "Look, we ain't talking for nothing," because the thing about it, not the West. We got to stop using that, because there's a clear divide here, right? But America and Zelensky, all right, not even Ukraine, but Zelensky, they like, look, bro, this is not going to be a success. So we ain't going to come to an end until Russia no longer exists. We want to take over Russia, is basically what they saying. And Russia's like, bro, y'all can take it over once y'all take these nukes up out of our hand, bro. If it get to that point, then fuck it, it's going to get to that point. But we're not going to just let y'all roll over us like that, right? But ultimately, this is what's going to bring, you know, an utter end to, you know, America as you know it, all right? Habakkuk 2 and 3, it says, for the vision is yet for an appointed time. Well, let's go up. Verse 1. I will stand upon my watch and set me upon the tower, and will watch to see what he will say unto me, and what I shall answer when I am reproved. And the Lord answered me and said, write the vision and make it plain upon tables, that he may run that readeth it. So see, we've been going into this for so long that the fact of the matter, you see headlines like this, you should already know, oh shit, America and the allies about they in a rocky road, a rocky relationship right about now. All right, so look, hey, this is about to go down, right? You can measure the time diligently. Oh, this is about the time where Babylon is getting weak. The allies are turning on them. All right, Russia is you know, backed up against a wall. All right, so hey, the only thing left to happen is for the nukes to fly, right? Verse 3, for the vision is yet for an appointed time, but at the end it shall speak and not lie. Though it tarry, wait for it, because it will surely come, it will not tarry. And you know, for those that was thinking to the point of America's allies would never leave them, America's gonna always be the most dominant military force on the planet Earth. Never saw this day coming, but now look at what you have going on. All right, people who thought that America was the city paved with gold and just this is hey, America is becoming a third world country. Hell, it's a second world country now. All right, on its way to be a third world country. You got some of these so-called third world countries that people are finding out like, bitches look way better over here than in any place in America, right? You know, but hey, this is what America has become. All right, it's how they say circling the drain, right? Let me go into let me read this in the NLT. Obadiah 1 and 7 says, in the NLT, it says, all of your allies, all right, will turn against you. All right. So right now you have, you know, NATO and the EU, right? NATO and the EU, that's, you know, how does the scripture say, the whore that rideth upon the beast? All right. America is how did you read in an article? It says the U.S.-led bloc, or the U.S.-led military bloc. What that's basically saying, the whore that's riding upon the beast. All right. But now what are you seeing happening? All right, you starting to see that cracking, and shit. You got Turkey that's always been on rocky terms with America from the S-400 sale all the way up to the Kurds and everything else like that, right? But now you have France that's openly saying these things, but France ain't the only one that's suffering in the EU from the sanctions on Russia, right? The sanctions on Russia ain't really hurting Russia; it's hurting the EU. All right, and then who do you think is benefiting from all that? It's America, and it's not like America's just look. I'm gonna just sell it to you at cost, bro. Yeah, you got to buy it from me, but I'm just whatever I get it for, I'm selling it to you for the same price because you my homie. No, America's like, bitch, we finna tax this 4 times the price, not 2 times, not 1 time, but 4 times the price, man. All right. So it says all your allies will turn against you. They will help chase you from your land. They will promise you peace while plotting to deceive and destroy you. Your trusted friends will set traps for you, and you won't even know about it. So right now you even have, Macron openly saying, hey, we got to have dialogue for Russia. But look, we support y'all and everything else like this. But then you have other EU nations like, nah, fuck that. We on the side with America and everything. But like I said, they saying these things openly, right? I always give it to you like this. It's like a man and a woman in a relationship, and one of them found some compromising evidence against the other one. Now they're not talking around the house and everything. They hadn't officially said it's over with. I'm about to leave you and everything else like that. Or maybe a married couple and everything. They start doing little things around the house. They ain't talking no more. They ain't doing the things they used to do no more. Ain't sleeping in bed together or taking a long way home after work and everything. Hey, while the other person is planning their escape right now, man, it's like, you know what? I got to go find me a new crib. Move this bank account, my funds out of this bank account to this bank account. So it's out the joint account, all these different things. They didn't say everything, but look, it's over. I done had enough. Here go the house keys. I'm out. You know what I'm saying? But look, there comes a point in time where, you've seen it in different movies and things like that, where that other person just come home and be like, damn, they actually gone. That realization kick in. But look, there's always been signs beforehand, man. Y'all used to sit down and eat dinner every night together, but now all of a sudden, I gotta stay late at the office. I gotta stay out. Oh, I'm going out with the homies. I'm going out with the girls tonight. I'm eating over here. I ate at my mom in them house and so on and so forth. And then you coming home, y'all ain't even, y'all ain't, I'm staying up on watching TV all night long and fall asleep on the couch, so I don't got to go into the bedroom and everything. I mean, that relationship's pretty much already over with. Y'all just hadn't said so yet, but you're planning and plotting your way up out of there. So this is what you have planned out right about now as well. All right. Let me read that one more time. Obadiah 1:7. All your allies will turn against you. They will help chase you from the land. They will promise you peace. All right, what you hear Macron and them speaking about, while plotting to deceive and destroy you. You better believe that they were looking for a plan B to get up out of there. They can't even afford, the natural gas that they're paying for. Right now, they got 4 times the high. Do you think they're gonna just keep spending all that money till they're in the bankrupt? And who gonna bail them the fuck out? Who gonna be over there to give them some type of aid? Russia's still over there like, look, bro, we'll sell you the oil at a cheaper price, no problem. Just stop sending weapons over there. Just come deal with us, because you dealing with America. What are they promising you? Because if shit get real bad, I mean, first of all, y'all got sanctions on us. You got to follow those sanctions. All right, all it's doing is bankrupting y'all and making y'all, because y'all got to pay for higher oil from them. They benefit from that. If we go to war, if there's a World War III that pops off between America and Russia, you don't think these European territories is gonna wind up getting hit? Y'all gonna be the ones to take the brunt of these things. Just like how these Ukrainians, the civilians, these stupid ass niggas won't do something about their leader Zelensky. Like, look, y'all don't let these Americans come over there and boost this nigga, use this guy as a little puppet to wage war up in y'all. Cause now y'all getting bombed over here for some Americans, basically, man. Like, this ain't got shit to do with y'all or Russia. Neither one of them really want to be in this conflict. But hey, you got your little puppets over there, man. And guess what? The Ukrainian civilians, they don't get the benefit from none of this stuff, man. All right, any type of deal or any type of we got these resources over. You don't benefit from that. Just like us here in America, the whole after 9/11, going over to Iraq, stealing and rebuilding their oil infrastructure. You Americans ain't got no goddamn Iraqi gas card where you can go fill up your damn gas tank for free or a low price or discounted because we supported the troops and we went over there and blew up all that shit. No, you ain't get no fucking benefits from that. Going into Afghanistan, the poppy fields and everything. Y'all didn't get no discounts on them little heroin pills y'all was taking when they had that, what is it, the Oxycontin epidemic and what is the other one, hydrocodone or whatever it was. Y'all was paying high dollars for these goddamn pills, man. But guess what? Y'all was sending y'all sons over there to go get the shit from Afghanistan, but you didn't benefit from it. All right, and these nations are going to realize these things, and this is why they're going to be planning and plotting to deceive you. It says your trusted friends will set traps for you, and you won't even know about it. All right, and so this is where the times we're coming into. Yeah, we'll make these deals, we'll make those deals, and We'll come up. Yeah, what's the military plan? How we gonna go and attack Russia? The whole time they selling this information right over there to them. All right, and so hey, America gonna be sold out. At the end all be all, man. This is Revelation. I ain't want to make this long, but Revelation 17 and oh, you didn't even 17. Yep, 17 and 16. It says, "And the 10 horns which thou sawest upon the beast." All right, in which those 10 horns represent, basically, you got NATO and the EU, or basically the EU, right? It says, "And the 10 horns which thou sawest upon the beast, these shall hate the whore, which is America, and shall make her desolate and naked, and shall eat her flesh and burn her with fire." So ultimately, you have the scriptures that speak about, Jeremiah, all ye archers that bend the bow, all right, an assembly of great nations from the north, all right, coming from I will stir up the spirit of the king of the Medes, with an assembly of great nations and all these different things, man. And this is what's gonna be, what it's gonna be like in that day of World War III, man. America gonna go into it thinking that they got partners and allies and everything, but at the end all be all, they're gonna turn around and notice that ain't nobody behind them, man. All right, they're gonna be out there stuck to dry. This is how you get the bully up out of the situation. They thought that everybody was with their shenanigans the whole time. Then they about to go up here and just make a fool of themselves, and guess what? Now they super embarrassed, man. All right. But I'm going to go ahead and close out with that. Lord willing, the elect was edified with this here lesson. Until next time, I say, call halal Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakakodash. Double honor to the apostles and elders, a great millstone that taught us his truth and that rule well. And salutation and much love for you. I can't push in the truth and sincerity over the four corners of the earth and enduring afflictions to feed and edify the elect. Until next time, I say, stay strong. Shalom.